Fascism is a far-right political philosophy, or theory of government, that emerged in the early 20th century. Fascism prioritizes the nation over the individual, who exists to serve the nation, and is an ultranationalist, authoritarian political philosophy. It combines elements of nationalism, militarism, economic self-sufficiency, and totalitarianism. It opposes communism, socialism, pluralism, individual rights and equality, and democratic government. Following are signs and characteristics of creeping fascism. Powerful and continuing nationalism. Promotes a strong sense of national identity, often at the expense of other cultures. Utilizes nationalistic symbols, slogans, and propaganda to foster unity. May lead to isolationism or aggressive expansionist policies. Emphasizes the idea of exceptionalism, believing the nation is superior to others, disdain for human rights. Frequently suppresses freedoms of speech, assembly, and the press. Engages in censorship and crackdowns on dissidents or activists. May use torture, arbitrary detention, or extrajudicial killings. Often disregards international human rights conventions. Identification of enemies as a unifying cause. Creates external or internal scapegoats to divert attention from domestic issues. Labels opposition groups, ethnicities, or individuals as threats to national security. Encourages a climate of fear and paranoia. Promotes the idea that unity is essential in the face of perceived enemies. Rampant sexism. Upholds traditional gender roles and stereotypes. Women in education, employment, and politics. May tolerate, or even endorse violence against women. Often restricts reproductive rights and access to healthcare for women. Controlled mass media. Exercises strict control over newspapers, television, radio, and online platforms. Suppresses independent journalism and promotes government-approved narratives. Uses media as a tool for propaganda and disinformation. Limits access to diverse or opposing viewpoints. Obsession with national security. Justifies increased surveillance and monitoring of citizens. Exploits security concerns to expand executive powers. May engage in militarization of law enforcement. Prioritizes security measures over civil liberties, religion and government intertwined. Promotes a specific religion as a tool for political control. Enforces religious laws and restricts religious freedom. May grant religious institutions significant political influence. Uses religious rhetoric to legitimize government actions, corporate power protected. Favors policies that benefit large corporations and wealthy elites. May engage in crony capitalism, where government officials have close ties to business interests. Deregulates industries and reduces labor protections. Prioritizes profit over the welfare of the general population, labor power suppressed. Restricts labor unions and workers' rights. Suppresses strikes, protests, and collective bargaining. Encourages low wages and exploitative labor practices. Often leads to poor working conditions and income inequality, disdain for intellectual and the arts. Undermines intellectualism and critical thinking. Suppresses academic freedom and independent thought. Censors or restricts artistic expression that challenges the regime. Promotes propaganda that discourages questioning authority. Obsession with crime and punishment. Advocates for harsh penalties and punitive justice systems. May lead to high incarceration rates and overcrowded prisons. Uses law enforcement to maintain control and suppress dissent. Prioritizes law and order policies over rehabilitation, rampant cronyism and corruption. Appoints loyal supporters and allies to key positions of power. Engages in nepotism, where family members are given influential roles. Often results in embezzlement, bribery, and misappropriation of funds. Weakens public trust in government institutions.